Good morning, doctor. Welcome back.
Good morning, Venkatesh. Nice to be back.
Thank you. So, our topic for today is focus. And the reason it's part of a series on wellness is that very often we get fragmented or distracted by multiple things in our lives. And that prevents us from doing the most important things for ourselves, whether it is for our family, for our health, for our work. And so, focus is actually one of the most important things for us to use to lead a better and more balanced life. Yes? Uh, Over to you, doctor.
Okay, good. As Venku said, focus is a good therapy. If you're not feeling quite organized or something, and then you're bombarded with 101 different things, and you are not able to focus, and that creates anxiety, neurosis, and so forth. So focus, although it's not visible upfront, focus is an important thing for normal, sane living and healthy living.
Correct.
So it's good to know what is focus and what it can be, how it can be improved, and so forth. So focus is not to be taken very lightly, and it has many dimensions, which you will see shortly.
Correct.
Next slide, please. Yeah. So here you see the very basic fundamental physics of focus. I don't have to tell you that. There are many multiple rays, coming, and then they all converge through a prism, and then they lead to a point where we call it a focal point or focal focus point. And then the length of the rays that go through all this,
Between the
will be
lens, yeah, between the lens and the point where they converge. Yes.
right. So consciously or unconsciously or subconsciously, all of us are making use of our faculty of focus.
Correct.
Hmm? And it may appear to be exotic, but it is happening all the time. So we are focusing like the camera, you
Correct.
know, the camera is useless unless it is in focus.
Correct.
So it's a junk. The
Correct.
same way with our living, if we know our wavelength, focal length, and if we know where the rays will converge, we can see better, we can think better, and we will feel better. So imagine yourself being put in a situation where there's a lot of rays, electric rays or whatever rays
Light.
coming,
Correct.
they are getting scattered. If they are scattered, you get confused.
Correct.
You get confused, you get neurotic.
Correct.
It appears to be very simple, but it is not.
Correct.
Many of our problems are because we are not focusing properly.
Correct.
We don't focus, we talk a lot, and then we focus very little,
Correct.
and even very further little in terms of action.
Correct.
So if you know the focus and if you know the focal length, you do better action, and
Correct.
better action is more efficient way of living, and so
Correct.
forth. Venkatesh, any comments on that?
Yes. No, very good point. And actually, very interesting. You started this discussion with not only this diagram, but with a label of focal length. And actually, it's very interesting just to sort of give it a simple example. Sometimes we have to be very focused on the immediate, and the focal length is like for a very short, I need to do this right now and how to do it. Sometimes you need to take a long-term perspective, exactly like the camera. Sometimes you're zooming in, sometimes you're zooming out, and knowing what you're focusing on sharply is very crucial. Yes, yes, doctor. Very good.
Absolutely. So there are definitions and definitions, parts of physics and chemistry and so forth. But here in this context, definition of focus is to pay close attention to something.
Correct.
Okay, simple as that. If you look very closely, you are in focus,
Correct.
and the automatically focus comes if you are looking really closely. But most of us don't. As I said earlier, most of us are not focused on anything because our
Correct.
mind keeps on fleeting here and there. As Kabir said, "Mano dhavati sarvatra." You know,
Right.
and your mind keeps wandering and jumping here and there. It is actually a subhashitam in Sanskrit.
Correct. Correct.
And if you simply follow the rule that pay close attention, half the job is done.
Correct.
If you don't pay attention, it's confusion or it's confounded.
Correct.
So this is one definition. There are other definitions and so forth, but by and large, if you are in focus, you are okay. If you are not in focus, you are not okay. So you have to stay focused. Now, this is another difficult thing. Many of us do some focusing, but we don't stay focused.
Correct.
You know, we are fleeting here and there, again, going back to that Subhashitam,
Correct.
Mano Dhavati Sarvatra, mind is jumping and running.
Correct.
And focusing is not a problem, but staying focused is a problem.
Correct.
So that means
Correct.
you have to have that sustaining power,
Correct.
sustainability.
Correct.
And this sustainability can range from 1 foot to 1 mile or whatever.
Or more importantly, in time. Sometimes you need to focus for an hour. Sometimes you need to focus
Right,
for many days to achieve something important. Correct.
right. Very true, very true. So don't give up. The
Correct.
author says, don't give up.
Correct.
And you have to learn to starve your distractions. Now,
Correct.
distractions are many. If you keep feeding them, you'll never make any impact anywhere.
Correct.
So you have to feed your focus and starve your distraction. Yeah. And for example, in cricket, which is the most popular sport in India now, and for some time to come, you know, uh, they say, the commentator will say, keep your eye on the ball.
Correct.
Such Tendulkar or Virat Kohli or somebody standing there at the crease with looking at with the delivery
Correct.
of the ball.
Correct.
At that time, he can be distracted, and then you miss the ball and you are bowled.
Correct.
So
Correct.
focus, starve of distractions. At that moment no, there is no luxury of distraction.
Correct.
You have to focus and focus.
Correct.
Any comment on this?
Yeah. No, again, very important point, doctor. And I guess, it's maybe even a topic for another time. Our
Yeah,
brains crave novelty. And so,
right,
because of that, distractions are dime a dozen. So, the
right,
only way to focus is to actually actively starve them, is a very important point you're making, right? And
right,
to
right,
use your cricket analogy, you can only, to use another commentator's term, you can play every ball on its merits only if you're focused on the ball. So,
right.
absolutely, your most, sports makes something, it's very stark, but even in our day-to-day life, that is the single biggest problem, right? There are so many distractions.
Right. So, in other words, or putting it in a paraphrased manner,
Right.
your focus is your reality.
Correct.
No? If you are not focused, you are all over the place, and your behavior is also all over the place.
Correct.
You remain as confused as ever.
Correct.
Even if you are holding a lens in your hand, your mind can wander and
Correct.
create difficulties. So, your focus determines your reality. What you are focusing on will decide what you want to see. As they say in German,
Correct.
was weiss man sees man, or
Very nice.
I saw it in that pathology book of monks. You
Right.
know, if you want to see something, you'll see it. If you don't want to see it, you won't see it.
Correct.
As simple as that.
Correct.
But some of the simplistic truths or aphorisms
Correct.
which will teach you how to live.
Correct.
Here is a you focus properly, your reality is clear.
Correct.
You put to focus, your reality is gone for a toss and so
Correct.
forth. Next slide, please.
Yeah.
Now here there is a sort of a folk tale, if you like, or not a legend really. A folk tale you must have known, or many people, the younger generation may or may not have known because the younger generation lives by other parameters and
Right.
not by folk. But in this folk tale you can see a woodcutter.
Right.
Woodcutter cutting wood, and it just slips out of his hand and falls into the stream nearby.
Right.
And his earning for the day are gone. So the next morning meal or night supper, you have to struggle to find another way of getting that thing done.
Correct.
So he was praying and he was hoping that something good will happen. And he was praying and listening to his prayer. There is an angel or a god or somebody, who says, "Okay, don't worry, I'll get you the axe with which you are
Right.
cutting. You should be all right."
Correct.
So Cutter felt very happy. I'll get a new axe.
Correct.
So he told that man, told the angel, get me the axe. I'm very keen to work with it. So
Right.
the angel came up with a golden axe. Who wouldn't like a golden anything?
Correct.
So, and the angel said, here is your axe which you lost in the stream, and go ahead and use it.
Correct.
But then the woodcutter, being the honest woodcutter that he was or he is, said, no, mine is not the gold, woodcutter.
Correct.
Mine is just simple stick and blade,
Correct.
that kind of a. So he said
Angel.
the goat, whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
So he said, okay, I'll go down the stream again and then get you the real one. But the next
Right.
time the golden the angel comes, he comes with a silver
Correct. Correct.
axe.
Correct.
The story repeats, and then finally, angel comes with an axe, iron axe with wooden hand, and the woodcutter said, "Yeah, this is my, you know,
Correct.
instrument. This is my life."
Correct.
Now, this may sound a little odd, but if you are distracted with, for example, in this story,
Correct.
you can woodcutter is a fool, like that. You can think of
Right.
it that way. You can think of it as a divine, gift.
Correct.
God has given me this. I don't want the same flashy looking golden one, but I want only my ordinary
Ordinary
woodcutter.
acts. Correct.
So the angel was pleased with the honesty of the woodcutter, and then he gave all the three axes, and
Correct.
so forth. Now
Correct.
here, if you are not focused, if you are out of focus with regard to what you have and where you belong, you'll never make an impact anywhere.
Correct.
So at the mind of the woodcutter, there must be thoughts going on. Here is an opportunity for me to make money, and my greed can be satiated and so forth.
Correct.
But for the woodcutter was focused.
Correct.
He was focused only on
Hmm.
the blade and the axe,
That
and
he
the other
wanted
things.
to work on. Correct.
Yeah. So he was
Not a
involved.
very, very interesting use of this story. Absolutely. That he was absolutely
Yeah,
focused on what was important to him and not distracted by the dazzling golden axe or gold axe.
absolutely, absolutely. So here is another example of focus.
Correct.
We see, at first sight, we wouldn't know what is this thing about.
Right.
We see honeybee sitting on the petal,
Pollen of the flower. Correct.
yeah, whatever. And he is not interested in the beauty of the petals. The petals look very beautiful. Yeah, and the surroundings look very beautiful. But
Correct.
the honeybee heads straight to the pollen grain
Correct.
and takes the nectar from there. The
Correct.
rest of the beauty and all that are just nothing for him.
Right.
And that is where he gets the honey. Now he
Correct.
is not getting the honey from petals and whatever. He
Correct.
is getting the honey from that little tiny little
Patch
structure
of, yeah,
holds
pollen or
the.
nectar.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so it's a tremendous focus required of him, and then distraction. He's not getting distracted by the beauty of the fluorescence or whatever flowers.
Correct.
So there's another example. Like there are so many examples you
Yeah.
should see. Here is another one. You see, this is a stork or a
Yes.
crane or whatever.
Yeah.
The language varies from person to person. But you see one, the stork here, or uh, yeah, let's call it a
Yeah. Just
goose
call it
or
a stock. Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry about the semantics. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that fellow is standing there. Now, you see this crane just standing there in just about knee-deep water.
Correct.
And what is he doing there? You may think that he is just standing,
Correct.
you know, and you may think that he's a fool. He doesn't go around and do something,
Right.
just standing there.
Correct.
But then the stork says, well, this is what I am here for, because I'm going to catch the biggest fish that is coming down the stream. And for that, I need to focus, I need to concentrate. And
Correct.
so I'm not interested in the beauty of the nature and the surroundings. I'm going to stand still. And if it doesn't stand still, the fish that are going down the stream will be gone.
Correct. They'll avoid
So,
him. They'll avoid him. There is a Tamil
yeah,
saying to this effect, no? That there is a Tamil
yeah, yeah.
saying. Huh.
Yeah, that is the message. Based on that only, I picked up the visual. You
Correct.
know,
What's the Tamil
Odu
saying?
mean, yeah, Odu mean order. Odu means the fish that is flowing down the stream. Let
Right.
the fish go. Let it
Correct.
go.
Correct.
Uru mean Varum alavum. Uru means the big one, the big
Right.
fish. You're waiting for the big fish. You
Correct.
know, in stock market and those who are in executive life and those who are they are waiting for the big chance to
Correct.
grab, whether it
Correct.
is Bill Gates or whatever. Now, Odu mean order, Uru mean Varum alavum. That is the thing. That is the saying.
Correct.
So be patient
Correct.
and for the right time and the focus, stay focused. You'll miss the fish if you don't
Correct.
focus.
Correct.
And so focus on that fish,
Absolutely.
and you would let go. The
Correct.
fish let go and so forth. Yeah. Any comments, Sankatesh?
No, no, perfect. And I loved, I knew that it was from the Tamil saying that you had come to this. I picked
Yeah.
up this visual. And I think it makes the point that our previous talk and this talk are actually linked to each other. That you cannot be
Right.
focused without patience. And a lot of times, focus requires that patience as well. Right? That's the link to our just previous talk on patience. Yes.
Right.
I think just as a
Very.
time check, we are at about the halfway mark. So, yes, just thought
Okay,
I'd let you
yeah,
know.
we'll be okay, no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, we should be
Here
fine.
you see another modern contraption,
Right.
a plane or some fighter jet,
Right.
fighter bomb jet, something. And that jet plane has left the base and is now traveling at a very high speed.
Correct.
And his focus is on what? His focus is on the enemy target of, say, fuel uh, uh, uh,
Fuel
depot
dump
or
or
something.
something. Correct.
Yeah, whatever. And the pilot doesn't look at anything other than his focused target. Yeah.
Right.
He may have other attractions over there or distractions over there, but this pilot has the enormous speed, is focusing only on that fuel depot or dump where he has to go and bomb the structure.
Correct.
Or if it is an enemy structure of another kind, whatever is identified, he should hit.
Correct.
And that, for that, it requires enormous focus and enormous
Correct.
patience.
Correct.
And the little cockpit, which holds only one human being at a time, the
Or two.
cockpit is now full of sweat and grime,
Correct.
but it stays put there and then hits the target.
Correct.
So again, a question of focus, how you, you delay your gratification.
Gratification. Exactly.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. And another example of focus is in Mahabharata.
Correct.
Arjun was the hero of Mahabharata, but
Correct.
then others may disagree. His own brothers may not agree that Arjun is the hero.
Correct.
So, so Arjun was very good in archery.
Right.
Was or is. If Arjun is still around, you call him is. He
Correct.
is, he is very good in archery, and right from childhood, his archery skills were groomed and taken forward, and for
Correct.
which you have got Dronacharya, the teacher,
Correct. Correct.
standing there, and the other members of the Pandava group, they are sitting there, and Arjuna is about to shoot an arrow.
Correct.
Hmm? Shoot an arrow, he has to need a target, and the target here in this is a little bird or a little some animal or some such thing, and he's shooting. He's practicing that shooting,
Correct.
and very soon he gets a chance to make use of that focus.
Correct. Yeah.
So that the Dronacharya was the person.
Correct.
Now this slide, please.
Yeah. No, I guess the story that
Next
goes
slide is
with it. Yeah, the story that goes with this, I guess, which maybe you wanted to mention was when Drona asked all the others, what do they see? They described everything. Whereas
right.
Arjuna only described the eye of the toy parrot or
Fish,
whatever they were going to
fish.
shoot. So he had that complete focus. Yes.
Now, here the fish is important because the fish is floating in the water and going round and round. The target is not fixed. The target is moving.
Right.
Like hitting target that is moving is tough.
Correct.
And all it was taught to him by Dronacharya. And in that
Now we
that
are, of
particular
course, in the picture of the Rama and Sita, the Swayamvar, or basically, no, no, sorry. This is another Arjuna picture. Correct. Sorry. Go ahead.
yeah.
My apologies.
So,
My apologies.
so he is making use of that faculty which he has developed,
Correct.
and that faculty is a big challenge. He is not looking at the fish; he is looking down at the little bowl of water,
Correct.
and that water bowl is in a stream, it is moving, and he is waiting for the right time, like that cuckoo, as he call it,
Sorry, the crane of the storm.
crane. So he is waiting for that, and then he hits the bullseye, or hits the fish eye, if you like,
Correct.
and get the lady luck of his whatever.
Yes.
So
Gets
like
Draupadi's
that.
hand.
Yeah. Next slide.
Yes. Yeah.
Next slide. So in this you see a little picture taken from a book or from whatever. You see everything out of focus except the word focus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Focus should be as clear as that. Nothing should distract you.
And
So
for
that
something
that
to
is
be in focus, everything else has to be out of focus. Absolutely.
absolutely. Next slide, please. So the catchword is concentration.
Correct.
Hmm? You have to concentrate. Whatever you are doing, you do that with focus and with concentration, and that requires willpower. That
Correct.
requires other faculties like delaying your
Gratification.
gratification. Arjuna can't be thinking about Draupadi's beauty at that time. He's only looking at the fish.
Fish that he
So,
wants to
yeah.
strike. Correct.
So
And
concentration is
a very important point across all of these, and which maybe is the topic for another day, is actually concentration and focus can be practiced. And
right.
it is like you're singing. In the beginning, a novice will find it difficult to sit cross-legged even for 5 minutes still and sing. But let's say now you will sit for 1.5 hours without even realizing it. And that is concentration built over a long period of time. So I guess more and
Right.
more we are understanding that these are not just traits, these are actually things you can work on and develop. You can develop
Correct.
your concentration.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Next slide, please. So to concentrate, you should know what to concentrate on. You know,
Correct.
you can't be concentrating 25 different things at a time. Then it is not concentration.
Correct.
By definition, concentration will be decided by the priority that you set.
Correct.
If you prioritize, then the whole thing makes sense. Otherwise, it's all running haywire.
Correct.
So first is to prioritize. There are 25 different things, like in the Mahabharata thing. We have to prioritize. Who is the priority? Draupadi, and
Correct.
not some other Mandodari or somebody. So Draupadi is the priority, and you have to work towards that.
Yeah.
You work towards and win Draupadi and so forth.
Yeah.
So number one is priority, which is fixing the focus. That is
Correct.
priority.
Yeah.
Other things can wait. Next slide, please. Now, the redefinition of focus: to concentrate, to have a central point of attraction. You require that. It's required a motivation to go to that central point. And
And that is what the prioritization is for. That prioritization
yeah,
is to know what the central point is. Absolutely.
right, very true. Next slide, please. Now, okay, just the antithesis of this focus is something to be kept in mind.
Yeah.
The antithesis is antipode, you'll call it, not antipode
Correct.
really, antithesis. If you are focusing and you're doing focusing too much, then you become oblivious of what is going on around you. So
Lovely.
excess of focusing is bad for your mental health. It leads to what they call as ati. Ati is too much.
Correct.
You have too much of concentration, but that concentration cannot be lasting
Correct.
because that has its own half-life, its
Correct.
own time limit. And you can't be concentrating 24 hours a day. So you have to concentrate for 3, 5 seconds and so forth. So here also there should be no excess. Ati means excess.
Correct.
Sarvatra varjayet. That is a Sanskrit saying.
Correct.
Too much of anything is bad.
Correct.
And
Correct.
whether it is the favorite dish of whatever, or if you are doing anything else of your liking,
Yeah. No,
and then
in
you may
fact, this is
tend
a
to
very important point in the context of our the way our channel itself is named. That
Hmm.
everything is about balance. So it's a
Right,
very, very important point you are using to round off the discussion on focus. For example, many people only focus on career, saying, "No, I have to focus on my career. I have to make money." Correct. But if you
right,
focus on it to the exclusion of family, children, whatever other important responsibilities you have, or your health,
right,
you will have an
right.
imbalanced life and be in trouble, is the point I guess
Yeah,
you're making.
absolutely, absolutely. You are taking a quick sort of glance on that. Many of my contemporaries in the pharma industry were
Right,
so, in fact, so obsessed, you know, that they would
right,
only worry about sales target, and then otherwise they'll lose their sleep and they'll lose their temper, they'll go mad, absolutely. And they are my contemporaries, and today they are 80 something. But
right.
do you know, they are not living their 80 something. No, their 80 is full of complaints and misery and so forth, because they didn't keep the other aspects of life intact. You
Correct,
know, if
correct,
you
correct.
worried about sales target, then it's a good focus. It will create
But it has to be
neurosins.
within balance. No, very good point, doctor. I think very superb point to bring into focus, because it might, at first blush, it looks like, oh, that, focus is, there are two ways. You can say focus is an important thing. You can say focus is the enemy of balance. But I think
Right,
balance is what that is. You have to have focus, but you have to know when to balance other things. And that therein lies the
Absolutely.
art or the trick, if you want to call it that.
Yes. That's why Bhagavad Gita says, Yogastha Kuru Karmani.
Correct.
Do your karma with focus on the yoga, in the yoga way.
Correct.
Hmm? Sangam Tattva Dhananjaya. You detach yourself. Dhananjaya is Arjun
Arjuna.
sitting in the
Correct.
grave. Yogastha Kuru Karmani Sangam Tyaktva. You have to get rid of your attachments.
Correct.
Siddhya Siddha means you win or lose. Siddhya Siddhi Asiddhya
Right.
Samobhut. You have to treat them in the same scale.
Correct.
Hmm? That is yoga. Samatvam yoga uchyate. It's a very famous couplet or
Correct.
shloka which we should use. So,
Correct.
good thing is to focus, but you should also focus on the balance.
Correct.
You're focusing on everything excepting your balance, and you lost your balance.
Yeah.
It
And
will
I think
sound
it makes
paradox.
a very lovely point. I think that's that you're able to better focus and not lose
Yeah,
your balance if you're not so
correct,
bothered about the outcome, right?
correct. Very true. Very true.
Correct. Why it's a very practical philosophy to maintain balance and still be focused.
Yeah,
That is the
yeah,
yogic
yeah.
way. Correct.
Focus of a different way. Focus spelt in a different way. Now, here is an example of a
This is
guy
the
who
last
is,
slide, doctor. Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. We are ending now.
Yeah.
The example of a guy who is focusing on everything or focusing on nothing. So he's neither here nor there. He is driving a car, holds a mobile phone, clutches it between his shoulder and whatever. And then in his other hand, he has got some liquid which
Coffee
he's
cup.
drinking.
Yeah, coffee cup or
And
whatever.
whatever. And it could be even alcohol for all you know. We don't
Yeah.
know what it is. It looks white, so may not be alcohol. Or maybe whitish
No, it's a
alcohol. Why
coffee
not?
cup. It's a standard coffee cup. Yeah.
Yeah, coffee cup. And one hand is on the steering wheel, and the steering is only half-heartedly turning here and there. And there is a rear view mirror. Whether he makes use of it or not, we don't know.
Yeah.
No,
He's too
it's
scattered.
like,
Yeah. This is a recipe
yeah,
for trouble, metaphorically and
yeah,
otherwise. Yeah.
yeah. Everything except focus is what he's practicing. And if we do that, we are doomed,
Correct.
or we are heading towards doom. So focus is the word, and Venkatesh, you
Yeah.
hello, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Venkatesh, you sum it up and then you distill your wisdom.
No, I'm distilling your wisdom. Okay. Uh, so, our topic today was focus. We discussed why focus is important. Focus, as we have discussed in the past, is required for being able to make progress in anything. We need to put enough effort or enough attention to something to be able to move forward. That automatically means deprioritizing other things or what become distractions. In some ways, you can think about it as you can only be in focus if other things are deprioritized or out of focus.
Right,
That in turn requires us to have the patience to not hanker after gratification or novelty, which is what very often distractions provide. Similarly, we need to have the ability to prioritize our life very clearly and carefully. We talked about how this relates to the physics concept of focal length. Sometimes we have a short term focus, sometimes you have to have a long term focus. We have to move between them, but focus is important. Finally, we came down to that as good as focus is, balance is not possible if you overdo anything. So we have to keep things in balance, and one of the best ways of doing that actually is to detach ourselves from the outcomes. That allows us to actually be much more in the what is called the yogic mode, or do everything like yoga, which is you do it with focus, do the task, but be completely unbothered by whether you're succeeding or failing or whether the outcome comes or not. And that's a very practical way of actually keeping your focus and balance at the same time. Yes, doctor.
very good. Thank you.
Thank you, doctor. Look forward to seeing you next time.
Yes, same here. Have a good
Thank you.
time.
Thank you. You too. You too.